Furthering our discussion on proportions, you're going to run across word problems that can be solved by using ratios and proportions. So let's take a look at an example. A basketball player bounces the ball one time for every 3 steps. How many times will he bounce the ball for 12 steps? So, classic ratio proportion problem. So as you read this, what are you dealing with? Well, we're dealing with somebody bouncing a ball and comparing it to the number of steps they take. So what I like to do is to set up a ratio and say we're dealing with bounces to steps. If you write that down first, you realize that everything on the top of your ratios will be dealing with the bounces of a ball, and everything on the bottom deals with steps. So it just makes it a little easier when you're first setting these up. So let's reread the first sentence. A basketball player bounces the ball one time for every 3 steps. Well, that tells you that you're bouncing the ball one time, and you're doing that every 3 steps you take. So there's our first ratio. So let's write that. We're bouncing it one time for every 3 steps. So our ratio is 1/3. So let's read on and see if we can complete this proportion. How many times will he bounce the ball? Okay, we don't know. We want to figure out how many times he'll bounce it. That's our unknown. We'll let that be x because that's what we're trying to find out, and we don't know from reading this problem. How many times will he bounce the ball for 12 steps? Well, we do know how many steps he's taking, 12. Right there we've set up our proportion, and we can simply use what we did to solve this in the past, which is cross multiply. So we're going to take this 1 times 12 and that is 12. I'm using the wrong pen, so let me do this again. 1 times 12 is 12, and 3 times x is 3x, and then we divide both. Simple equation, we divide by both sides by 3. So if you divide this by 3, it is 1. And if you divide this side of the equation by 3, you get 4. So our resulting answer is 4. So this unknown is 4. Well, what is that? That's 4 bounces for every 12 steps. So your answer is 4 bounces, or 4 times the ball will bounce.